Hello. How is everybody doing? Guess what? We are back on another Monday hosting Brilliance, and you all are in for a real treat. I'm trying to tell you. So, I'm calling all of you leaders, especially school leaders. Listen, I need you all to come on in, share this. We're about to walk into an episode that's going to really transition and transform your thinking about how you're leading and the fact that you can get support. Come on, everybody, and lead with purpose and harmony. Because guess what? Leaders need it too. We've been talking a lot all month about cultural responsiveness, reflecting on how the practices that we use in the classroom for educators. But what about the school leaders? We have the best guest today that can really help us move in the direction of having that freedom of flow and just safe space for school leaders. We have none other than CEO of Gordon Leadership Academy, LLC. We have none other than Principal Edward Gordon. So I'm going to welcome him to the stage, and we're going to talk about his journey, his mission, and his message, and what he has to offer for you all, school leaders. So share this out right now. Come on, he's coming right now. Say hello to the people.
Well, hello. Thank you, Robin, for having me on the show.
Absolutely. And on this show, I just am my authentic self. And I know there was a song that you said you loved, and I think it was Wait on You. I will not be moved. I'll wait on you. Sometimes it feels like our leaders have to wait to be served. Our leaders have to wait to be poured into. And I really want you to talk to us about how we can overcome that as school leaders and today just really go in and be yourself and let it just do what you do. But before you do, tell us where you're coming in from, and where you're from and who you are. Say hello to the people and see where you are from.
Yes, definitely. Well, again, I'm Principal Edward Gordon, and right now I reside in West Orange, New Jersey. And definitely, I grew up in Montclair, New Jersey, graduated from the Montclair Public School District. And after that, I had opportunity to attend the University of South Carolina, where I studied music. And then after leaving that, had an opportunity to transition in my first job as a music educator in Patterson Public Schools in New Jersey. Did that for several years and had opportunity to start and open up the Bravo Academy, which is a fine performing arts academy that was a part of the larger comprehensive high school at John F. Kennedy High School in Patterson, New Jersey. And after that, I was able to lead various schools in various urban school districts and settings throughout the state of New Jersey, and also did some work in Philadelphia, did some school turnaround work, and just had a wonderful opportunity to serve students, parents, and teachers from preschool to grade 12 throughout my career. I'm excited about the work that I do now of Gordon Leadership Academy, providing coaching, mentoring, assessments, and training for educators throughout the state of New Jersey, throughout this country, and also some clients internationally as well. So I'm excited to be here and be able to share more about my journey and the supports that are needed for our educators worldwide.
Absolutely.
There you go.
I'm so excited that you are here, and I'm so excited that you're on this platform and can speak to the people who listen and follow some of the work that we do at Everybody Educate, because we believe that everybody is educating somebody somewhere. And in order to do it, we must do it with excellence and equitable practices so that we can create winning classrooms, winning schools, and winning lives. Come on. So that's why I have you here today. So please share this amazing expertise. You guys, like I said, are in for a treat with Principal Edward. And Principal Edward, you talked about this amazing work that you do, but I want you to kind of tell us a little bit about something you had to overcome to get to this space. And I know we constantly are growing, but what are some of the things that you had to face or obstacles you had to face to get here and do these things?
Yes, I mean the first obstacle is making that transition from being a teacher to a school leader. Uh, you were asked to be a teacher for a minimum of 5 years. For me, it was 6 years. But I always had this desire and calling to become a school leader, school principal. And I was in a situation where I sent out, I know for exact, about 200 resumes for positions to become an assistant principal. And I went on about 50 interviews throughout the state of New Jersey. And one interview was about 3.5 hour drive. And I was still in the state of New Jersey just to get to the location. And when I got to the interview, one of the first questions that they asked, knowing where I lived and where I traveled from, do you plan on relocating? Because they knew that was a long drive to actually get there. But those are the type of things that educators that are making that transition from being a teacher to being a principal, they believe that the transition is very easy and it's a simple transition. One thing that I learned from this is that the educator or the employers were looking for people with some experience and we're making that transition into administrative roles. But how do you get the experience if no one gives you the opportunity? And through that lesson, I really had to learn that I really had to change the way I answer my questions. Think about the leadership roles that I had as a teacher and also the lead teacher of a Fine Performers Academy, how I worked with other staff members, how I did recruitment for people to be a part of the academy, how I helped to shape the curriculum of literacy and math that had components in the curriculum that related to fine performing arts, but also moved the students forward in terms of that standard curriculum that they needed for grades 9 to 12. All that I had to really think about and start putting in my answers when I went on interviews, because I had to demonstrate and share ways that I, as a teacher, was a leader, how I address strategic planning, how I address instructional leadership. And all of that helped me to be able to get my first job as a school leader because I changed my mindset in the way I thought about the questions and the answers I needed. That experience is definitely helpful in terms of the work that I do now for Gordon Leadership Academy, helping educators move to other and get new positions in education, helping them understand what the interview questions are, how to answer the questions more effectively, utilizing stories of their previous experiences to show that they can handle the situation. And also, if they have not had an experience that's being asked in an interview question, building their knowledge base so they know exactly what they need to do when they're in the position moving forward. This transition of being a teacher to a transition to being an administrator, yes, people think that it's easy. Okay, you need some support around it. Having a coach like myself or others to help you bridge that gap to be able to make that transition is definitely beneficial. So that's one of the examples in my past development that has definitely helped me work with educators today. And one more example, I'll say, just going through at the time, 15, 16 years of education, there was a time that my career hit a wall and I was terminated from a position of being a principal. And that's when I was really asking God, like, why was I so successful in the past? And right now I'm having challenges. And that's when God revealed to me the reason what for you, Edward, is that in the past, you never had a coach, you never have a mentor. And I really had to take some time to learn what a coach is, what a mentor is. And once I learned what they are, they're two separate people. I learned what they are, and I got a coach and a mentor, and I was able to get back into leading schools, and that's where my career had another breath of life and really took off. And that has been very important for me to have a coach and mentor in various areas of my life besides just education, but it's really pulled me to do the work that I do today by providing and being a coach and a mentor for educators worldwide. And one thing I want to say, I just also want to leave this point, a coach is a person that asks you questions to draw out that level of brilliance and the strengths that are inside of you already and have you learn and have that own awareness about yourself and what you're capable of doing. And then a mentor is someone who is farther down the road than you are. If you are a new administrator, a new teacher, having a mentor that has been doing this work for 5, 10 years or more to be able to bring you along, share with you their experiences, give you advice and support, that's going to help you in your career. And that's for any career. But definitely having a coach and a mentor is important. And that's why I love the work that I do today.
Wow, I love that because a lot of people don't talk about you said a lot of amazing things, and I'm gonna jump back into some of those. But a lot of people don't understand the importance of that, and we want to be leaders and we want to move to different positions and we want to have we want our brilliance to be shown, but in order for that to be cultivated in a way that really wins, mentorship and coaching is very important, and actually both, right? Would you say that you do both, or you?
Yes, I would say that I do both. And I was actually having a conversation with a school leader yesterday who was one of my clients. And I was telling him that I hope that he sees that I ask a lot of questions.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that what the education needs, we need more effective coaches.
Yes.
And the reason for that is when you're asking questions and you're really getting that other person to think about the situation, think about different ways of solving the problem, having a conclusion about which direction you're going to go and take that action, they are building up the confidence to make decisions in the future. I was telling this client, my plan is that you don't need me anymore, okay?
Yes.
Because I'm helping you think through situations and also understand your strengths that you have and how to use it effectively.
Yes.
There are times where I am very transparent with clients that, all right, I'm stepping out of the role of a coach and I'm going to be a mentor right now because there's some things that I'm just going to have to tell you, okay? And because I don't want to make a mistake, this is what you need to do now, and so that we don't have bigger problems in the future. But it's important for us as support for educators. I would encourage stay in that coaching side majority of the time, like 90% or so, okay? And mentor less because you want these educators to build out their own confidence to make the decisions. And if you are always mentoring someone, okay, they're always going to call you. They're always going to need you. They're always going to doubt themselves. They're going to doubt their decisions. You want to have confident educators leading our schools internationally.
Hmm. I love that. It's so crazy because I don't well where I came from, I've coached for years and I love coaching, but I would get really discouraged because I really felt like I was directed to be a mentor from my leaders, like just or consultants. Tell the teachers what to do, da 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 da. And I'm just like, oh no. And I often felt in my heart and my spirit that like, man, these my leaders need a mentor and a coach and need to understand this so they can better help direct us. I'm talking about district leads all the way down, like they can better help us to coach well because it just was a cycle. It was like they weren't able to think and lead for themselves, just like you said, like they weren't able to do that. They had directives coming down from the top. Everybody had directives coming down, and there wasn't a lot of coaching so that people can really make it their own. Like we get hired because of who we are and what we have to say. We talked about that first. I want to go back there. It's so important, and I appreciate you bringing this up because knowing what skills you have and what comes to what you bring to the table, how then do you utilize that in a space and an organization that has specific standards, specific ways of doing and being things? That's a lot to kind of take in, and not to mention you're leading a whole group of people who are leading a whole group of people and a whole community. Yes. Like this is so important because I'm hearing you say effective coaching leads to confidence, and then you win. You're able to win with you can have your goals are winning goals.
Yes.
You're what am I saying about your goals? You are fulfilling the goals. You are completing the goals because of this process. And sometimes I think people feel like, well, we told people what to do. They should be doing it. It's not that, it could be that simple. Talk to us a little bit more about that. I want to
Yeah,
go.
yeah. So you're telling people what to do, and they should be doing it. They're not doing it because they're not, they don't own it. They weren't part of the process. So there's a couple of things that you said, and I'm gonna the conversation is not going to go as smoothly, but
That's
these
okay.
things that just need to be stated. First of all, the one thing is around the fact that every leader in the educational system needs a coach. From the
Yes.
superintendent, assistant superintendents, everyone needs a coach. The benefits of my work, and I want superintendents and school leaders to understand this. Yes, there are systems that have coaches that are assigned within the district. That's good. That's a plus. That's helpful. But if you really want to take your school and district to the next level, I recommend a third party coach like myself. Okay. The clients, and these are clients that invest in themselves to work with me. They understand the importance of coaching and mentorship, and they understand the importance in investing in themselves. What I have heard from my clients is that they enjoy talking to me and working with me because I'm not associated with the district.
Yeah.
They can speak freely. They can be transparent. They can share exactly what they're really going through and the challenges that they're having in reference to people that they're leading, and also some of the things that they need to work through in terms of those supervisors and executive directors and superintendents that are above them. That transparency is going to uh, move their performance greatly when they're able to talk to a third party coach. So I want to be able to express that every school district should have third party coaches working with their school leaders to be able to improve their performance. The other piece of it, you were talking about, what are those things that really hinder some of the performance and getting people stuck in the work that they're doing? Is the fact that we're not setting up these safe environments for educators to be able to talk about what they're going through.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to understand that I don't consider myself a life coach. I don't consider myself a business coach. I don't consider myself a family coach, marriage coach, or where I'm a coach.
Yeah.
When clients come to me, there might be things that are going on in their life financially. There might be things that are going on in life in terms of their family. I need to be able to coach that individual, ask them questions around it to help them make decisions and take action steps to move forward. If you are just limited in terms of, all right, only come to me because we're only going to talk about business, okay? There's might be other things that are happening that are hindering their thinking, their thought process. And if you're not an effective coach to be able to deal with that, you're not going to be able to move them forward in terms of their role or what they're doing. So I always put myself out there as a coach. And it doesn't matter what the client comes to me and talks about during that hour or so session that's on their mind. I need to develop my skill set. I need to be trained to be able to coach them in any situation effectively. And that is really key about that. Some things that you should be looking for in terms of an effective coach to be able to move our school leaders, our educators forward, and also others that are just seeking coaching in other areas of their life.
Pure coaching. Pure coaching. There's so many coaches out here. I absolutely love that because, and I'm so glad we were connected because that's exactly what I try to push is that like when we talk about being authentic, you know, do we really care about the person that we're coaching? Or are we just trying to say, hey, this is what you need to do, these are all the steps, and and here, do we really care about like the whole person? It's just similar to the child, right? When we think about our children, we are coaching our children. Our like teachers are coaching children, children are coaching each other, principals are coaching teachers. It's a whole ripple effect. And if we don't understand the big picture that It's not just about the content. It's not just about what it is, but it's about who is doing it, how they're doing it, and how they feel prepared and safe to do so. And so I'm like applauding you for the beautiful work that you do, because not a lot of people are doing this authentically and having that pure heart for coaching. It really, like, people really look up the definition of coaching. And when you see roles of coaches in spaces, it's not true coaching all the time. It's just not. People are using these names. And I think the problem that we are faced with in the school system is that it has been about, like, you know, it's the goal, in my opinion. You tell me your opinion. The goal has been, we want to get our students to achieve, but investing in those programs and all those things is great, but you've got to have balance. The problem is there's not a lot of balance with investing in the people that are doing the programs, the people that are giving off the pedagogy, and making sure that it is relevant, making sure that in a space where it's purposeful for the time, purposeful for the people who are doing it, or educators. Sorry, last thing I'll say, because I get excited about this. Educators being put in the right positions, in the right places, on the right pathways to make the right things happen in the schools. How do we solve this problem, Principal Gordon?
Yes. So a couple of things, and it all goes around coaching. And if a assistant superintendent is receiving some coaching, they're going to be able to work with someone that's going to ask them questions around the organization and what are the challenges within the organization, what are the strengths of the organization, what are those areas that we can definitely work towards improving. And I think through the process of effective coaching, we're going to start learning about the people in the organization, and also about their skill sets, their strengths, and whether or not, like you mentioned, are they the right people in the right seats, in the right positions, and are they teaching the right grade levels throughout your organization that are going to get the results. And sometimes when we are in that role of superintendent, assistant superintendent, even principal, we don't see things like someone from the outside can see, and also ask us the right questions to be able to help us have those aha moments, which are really key. The piece that we also need to think about is the reference to the fact that, especially before we talk about, like, where do we spend our money to get the best results, and it is around that proper professional development and coaching for our leaders. Many times the district will not be pleased with a school leader. And what I've learned in my research, it's about $25,000 to replace a school leader. And that doesn't even equate to the onboarding and the recruitment and training of a new school leader. Okay. And so what I like to say is, for approximately, I'm just going to share all my information, approximately $6,000 of me working with a school leader for a year of biweekly coaching, site visits, really getting to understand their behaviors and personalities, and improving their communication, and work with them to retain them in the organization, to improve the culture. That is a better use of money and resources, okay, than not supporting someone, having to replace them, and then still having to bring someone new on that doesn't know the school district, and have to onboard them and provide training, which is costing districts lots of money, okay? And that is really key. And it trickles down to the investment that we're placing also in our youth. I am a certified WAVE youth leadership trainer, and part of our work is heavily around leadership development, communication skills, and also soft skills for students. Many times through our title funds, we're buying resources for literacy and math resources, but we have the curriculum materials already in our schools, okay? But what our students need to understand is how to problem solve, how to work together, how to collaborate, how to communicate. Those are the skills that are demonstrated also through our literacy and math work as well, but it's also going to help them when they graduate from our schools and our next employees. And we have to look at the whole picture of the development of our students. Yes, we're focusing on our academics, literacy, and math, which are the main two things, but also how are we instilling these values of leadership, communication, and soft skills that make them well-rounded students to truly be successful? Students can not right now, they can graduate with a high school degree and not have these leadership, communication, soft skills to actually get a job. And when they're in the job, not maintain it because they haven't developed leadership, communication, and soft skills to be successful. So we talk about what's the investment that our schools should be investing in our leaders through this type of coaching as a professional development, and also should be investing in this leadership, communication, soft skills training for our students as well to help them be well-rounded and truly be productive citizens when they graduate from our schools across the country internationally.
Wow, wow, wow. I tried to write down some of the notes of the things that are resonating with me. I could not capture everything. This is why you all, if you are listening and you are a leader right now, I'm telling you, I told you at the beginning, transformation of your mindset and thinking and how you should lead with purpose. And I wrote down some notes really quickly at the bottom of the screen, but I'm hearing you talk about today effective coaching, how it leads to confidence, right? And authentic implementation for winning achievement. Like, this is so important. Like, this is what's sticking with me. I heard you talk about pure coaching leading to development of the whole leader. I heard you talk about proper investment will save schools so much money. And we are in the whole, in our world in education, like, we need to transform how we do and think about school and how it trickles down, just like you talked about. And so thank you for sharing these amazing nuggets. I need you all to go back and want to replay. Go ahead, put some stuff in the comment. And I need you all to connect with my guest. He is so full of amazing brilliance that will transform your schools just with one beautiful investment. And that is investing in coaching, like investing in yourself, investing in your students, investing in your schools. We keep talking about it. When I was in the school district, thank you so much, Principal Gordon. Like, this is powerful. We're going to need a part 2 and 3. We need to do some webinars and seminars because we're so like-minded in that thinking. It's the reason why I fell in. I'm going all over, but I'm coming back. It's the reason why I fell in love with coaching in the first place. It's because I seen the transformation on so many different levels. I was like, oh my gosh. I was taught in the classroom, but then I started to think, like, how can I impact more people by some of the skills and strategies that I have and the gifts that I have? How can I impact more children? Well, maybe by impacting more adults. And so what I heard you describe was thinking about how you help the principals helps so many people, like, it's so huge. And when we sleep on the fact that, coaching isn't important, like how important coaching is, we really miss out on a lot of the impact that could actually happen and a lot of the problems that could actually be solved. So as an instructional coach, I was an instructional coach. I love to not about like where you should spend all your money, but what strategies should be put in place, the culture that should be kept safe so that children can, so I say that to say, I know how important it was for me to coach my teachers on being the best of themselves, being the brilliant. This is hence why we have hosting Brilliance as a thing for my company. Because if you're not the best of yourself, how can you really impact what you lead in a way that is, that is going to get the results that we really want in the school system? And all of it can happen. The cultural responsiveness, it can happen because it starts from the top. And I want us to go into, and you talked about so much beautiful things, and I want to go into it all, but to save money, that's huge. I need you all to understand He's talking facts here. He's talking data, truth, and facts, and then ways to solve problems just by it. And I hate to say just, but it's one investment to invest in the leadership first. Because then what happens, I feel, and you tell me if I'm wrong, what happens is it becomes, well, it's all on the teachers. They just need to get it right. They just need to do it. They just did it. Listen, this is what I got. It becomes like a dictatorship and everybody's just trying to check off boxes. Do you see that? And I mean, I taught and I coached in Pennsylvania for years. What do you see that from where you're from? I mean,
yes, I believe that in organizations where you're just checking off boxes, you're just going through the motions,
yeah,
and you're coming to a building and you don't see people. Okay,
yeah,
you're thinking about the boxes, and school leadership is around connections, it's about relationships, it's about your stakeholders and getting them involved. And when you are taking time to learn about people, learn about your students, learn about their families, then you're also able to match up what are those resources, what are those needs to be able to support them, and they feel the sense of belonging within your school environment, and they want to be successful. We talk about this, you know, cultural
yes.
responsiveness, and also cultural relevance.
Mm-hmm.
That is for everyone within your organization. Okay, and everyone needs to have a sense of belonging. If they don't feel like they belong there, the students that have to go to your school building because they live in that community, they're really not there.
Hmm.
They're really not
That's
there.
good.
And when it
Say
comes to
more.
a teacher, and when it comes to a teacher or even administrators that you might be leading, if they don't have a sense of belonging, they're not there, and they're going to leave your organization. Okay. One thing that we talked about earlier, and I want to go back to, is about uh, that coming in and just saying what they have to do, and not giving them any say or so forth. You need to involve your stakeholders in education.
Yeah.
Stakeholders are definitely our students, their parents, teachers, other administrators, uh, the assistant superintendents, board members, the community partnerships that come into your school building. These are all stakeholders, and effective schools involve all the stakeholders, and you also communicate the various stakeholders different ways. You don't tell someone in the community Edward Gordon's test scores. You communicate generally how the school is performing, and get the buy-in and support. But if you don't include your stakeholders at the various levels and continues to communicate with them your vision, your mission, your core values, and your goals, the organization is not going to move forward like you want. And you need their ownership. They need to have a sense of belonging. And once you have that, you're going to be able to move your schools forward. Okay. And sad to say, I talked to many administrators across the country, and I asked them, like, what's your school vision? And they're looking at me puzzled because they don't even know what the vision is for their building, and they haven't seen it. They don't know what it says. And sometimes they'll go out after a while, they'll find their vision. Their vision is like 4 paragraphs long, and they can't recite it, they can't say it, and they can't state it. And one day I also would challenge educators about our vision after what we experienced through the pandemic of the COVID-19 pandemic. Is our vision around education still the same? And I would argue that I think that the experience has really influenced some of the things that we need to look at in terms of our vision, and also the mission, the things that we are doing to actually see and allow our vision to become a reality. And also, it might also influence our core values. I know it's definitely influenced our goals at the time. We were experiencing so much learning loss that our students have went through during this time period. But the key parts of our work as leaders, we have to have a clear vision, mission, core values, and goals that our stakeholders are involved in the process. And when they're part of the process, they have a sense of ownership, and that's when you're going to be able to move our schools forward.
I love that. I'm gonna challenge Every leader that is on here, along with Principal Gordon, do you know your vision and your mission, your core values? And should you revisit it?
Mhm.
And should you revisit it? And it just goes back to our topic today, leading with purpose and harmony. And as we close, get to the end, I know there's so much more. There's so much I want to ask you. I want to talk to you more about, but I really want you all to connect with Principal Gordon because he has just such rich experience, knowledge, wisdom, and he just knows the right moves to make so that you can win like you want to, so that our children can win. But get involved with his Leadership Academy. I want to ask you a little bit about your book before we close, and I want to talk a little bit about this and I think we did talk a little bit about it, but I want to call out the harmony portion. So leading with purpose, we talked a lot about that today. Leading with purpose, Principal Gordon, how do we lead with harmony?
Yes. So, no, this leads into the book, the School Leader Reflective Journal, Helping Leaders Lead in Harmony. And the book came out of my work over the last 4 years. I help aspiring school leaders prepare for the school leadership licensure assessment to become a certified school principal. And this assessment is required in 20 states. Over the last 3.5 years, 100% of our clients have received coaching and passed the exam. And with that level of success, now we're at a point that there are school principals that are reaching out to us that are looking for some support to help them prepare for the school superintendent assessment to become a certified superintendent. So that's one of the services and products that we offer is coaching aspiring school principals and also aspiring school superintendents to prepare for the exam, pass the exam, and to get into the role and the certification they need to be successful. But besides the fact and after the fact of passing the exam, we also provide that interview coaching to be able to help them get the job. And when you get into the job, that we provide ongoing coaching and mentoring for principals as well as superintendents. But what I've noticed is that what we worked on in terms of preparing these aspiring leaders for the exam around strategic leadership, instructional leadership, culture and climate leadership, organizational leadership, ethical leadership, and community engagement leadership. Those are the main 6 components that are required to pass the exam. What I noticed when I started working with leaders when they're in the role is that they were forgetting about these 6 leadership components. All 6 of them, you have to work in harmony to have a successful school or a successful school district. And I wrote the School Leader Reflective Journal based on the components of the exam, but asking some reflective questions around these leadership components, really asking them on a daily basis, one question around it in reference to what in the past have you done based on strategic leadership or something in terms of that particular concept, and then asking the next part of that reflection, what can you do today, now? Sometimes we get an idea, we wait a week, a month, but no, you need to take action. All right. Now that you know that you should be having this component in your school or district, what can you do today to start to get some momentum? Then also, what can you do the rest of the year? Okay. Now that you understand that you should have had this in place, what kind of adjustments can you do for the rest of the year? And then the final question is that long-term planning, what can we do better next year that we are putting in these components of improving our strategic, instructional, culture and climate, community engagement, other types of leadership. And that is key. So the journal is really set up to really help our principals and also superintendents have these leadership components in the forefront of their thinking and mindset so they don't forget it. Yes, there are going to be times that you're going to have to put some more energy and efforts behind culture and climate. Yes, there's going to be some times that you're going to have to put some more emphasis in reference to instructional leadership. But never put everything in culture and climate and forget the other pieces of leadership that you need. If you do that, your schools are going to fall apart, your districts are going to fall apart. you have to develop sort of this harmony, okay, that's moving all these leadership components forward so that your schools are successful as well as your districts are successful. And that is the reason why I wrote the Reflective Journal, and it can be found on Amazon. You can purchase your copy. You can get several copies to have for each of your school leaders in your different various buildings so that they can reflect on these components on a daily basis, and also for your assistant superintendents and superintendents in the various districts as well. And that's what I wanted to really get across by having this journal, to be able to help our schools and our school leaders lead in harmony in the best efforts of improving our students, which we are called to serve.
Thank you so much for that. That's beautiful. I learned something too today. Always being a learner and a leader is so important, because you can do both, and you should be able to do both. And I appreciate that guide. I'm going to get my guide today. And I love what you said. What can I do? What can you do today? And I want to repeat that. What can you do today?
So the first part is, think about what you did in the past. Okay. Sometimes it could be, I didn't do anything around this concept and I need to do something. And now the next part, number 2, is what can you do now? Okay. What can you do right now? It's called those now goals. Okay. Before I get up from this desk, what am I writing down that I'm going to take action on? And this is really key. The third one is, what can we do for the rest of this school year to improve in this concept? And the fourth one is, what can we do next year that's going to make this even better? And when we keep thinking about this, there's going to be that ongoing process of school improvement, which we need to continuously advance our students.
And would you say that first part is that reflective part that you were talking about? We were talking about culturally reflective practices. Say a little bit more about that reflection before we go.
Yes. The key thing is, are you including everyone in your organization? Does everyone have a sense of belonging? And you'll understand that in terms of the various, then the culture is about their skills, their expertise, all the students, are the students being represented in your building? All of that you have to think about as we're moving forward, and really having culturally reflective environments and creating environments where everyone in your organization has a sense of belonging, which is key.
Thank you for that. That is amazing. I was trying to capture some of that because I really feel strongly that this is going to help somebody that is listening right now. If that's you, please write in the chat, write your thoughts. What are can you reflect? Can you all reflect? You are a school leader. It's okay. This is a safe space. And when we ask questions, when we don't look like we know it all, we have it all together, the people following us actually, respect us a little more, and like, okay, but what we do know, we need to decide on some actions that we can take. What we did learn, and so I put a few things up there. So thinking about the reflecting on the past. Come on, these are things you could do right now. Reflect right now. What's happening right now? Thank you so much, Principal Gordon. Then decide on what your actions are for today based on what your reflection is, and think about the rest of the school year and the next year. And I'm all about repetitiveness. So I'm say it again. So until it becomes a habit that we do. This is good, strong practice. You can lead on purpose, with purpose, and with the harmony. And guess what? I really want to know more about the harmony, how to lead with harmony and purpose through the book. So please, guys, I need you all to do 2 things for me. I need you to do 2 things for me right now. There's something you could do right now. Go to Amazon right now, and I want you to make sure you're purchasing the School Leader Reflective Journal so you can really understand how leaders can lead with harmony, and you will not be sorry. We've talked a little bit more, talked about it offline here too, and so I'm super excited to dig into mine, because I do help school leaders, but in a different way. I help them with their educators and with their students, with that instructional practice and having the piece, but they have to have the balance. You guys have to have the balance. And this is your guy right here. Yes. He's got you. He's got the academy. The next thing is, how can they get connected with your academy?
Yes. So, Gordon Leadership Academy, we are on Facebook as well as on LinkedIn. It's an opportunity also to be able to email me directly at Coach EW Gordon, the number 2 at gmail.com, and be able to reach out to you and connect with me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Principal Edward Gordon, and on LinkedIn, Edward W. Gordon II. And I was excited to connect with you, be able to have a conversation with you, learn about where you are in your journey and how Gordon Leadership Academy and our team can be able to support you and to help you improve your performance and also move your school and organization to the next level. And as on the screen, this is definitely a true model for me. If I can help somebody along the way, then my living shall not be in vain. Now I'm here to be a servant leader and be able to help you to get what you desire out of your life.
Yes, thank you so much. This has been amazing. I have felt like we've been sitting on the couch and talking, just like our backgrounds are matching. You guys see we're in the same place, right?
Yes.
I have felt so like at ease, even just sitting in your presence, to know that, you know what, I can do it. You know what, I can, as a leader, I've always shied away from being a principal or being some, because, and I know I was supposed to like do something like that, but I was like, I don't know, I don't think it's too much stress that I see, but it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. You can succeed. Your organizations can succeed, and Principal Gordon is the one to help you do that. So again, get connected with him and please support him. He is on point. So say bye to the people. Anything else you want to say, you can. But
I would say thank you very much for allowing me to be here, and I enjoyed this time together. And reach out. You do not have to do this alone. You can get a coach and get the support you need. Have a wonderful opportunity. Thank you very much.
thank you so much. We appreciate you. You know what, guys? I'm going to put all his information in the chat down there. All you have to do is click on it. So it's easy access. Just go right to it. It is so important that you do it and do it right now. That's something you can do right now. I've been so grateful to have this amazing educator, this brilliant educator who is stopping at nothing to get his mission across to the world and make sure that he is living on purpose and in harmony. And listen, this whole thing has been about being culturally reflective and making sure that you can get what you need. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you next week, same time, same place. We're hosting Brilliance. Wait on you. I'm waiting on you. Come on, guys. Let's go. Bye. Have an amazing day.